very special. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, me too.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's try to make it the last lap of the day. So this is just information for RPM and stuff, right? It's not...
Yes, we are not timing.
Good, good. While we're rolling to the track, maybe a quick introduction of yourself.
So my name is Kuba Germaziak and I'm an ex-race driver. I was racing for almost 18 years and I stopped 5 years ago, but I basically since 5 years the only thing which gave me some pleasure was driving around the Nordschlief. so I bought the car last year and decided to do some laps. So this is the first season where I've done actually around, I guess, 150 laps.
Nice.
And the car has been great since the beginning. But obviously I knew the racetrack from before because I did 2 VLNs and when I was driving Porsche Super Cup there was a race called Porsche World Cup. It was when Super Cup had 20th century. They made a big race, 200 race cars here, and I had to learn the track because this was a part of the season. Normally Super Cup would run with Formula 1, but this was an exception, and they did a race at the ring. There was 200 cars. I qualified third. I crashed in the race on wets, but I still finished around top 15.
Wow.
But that was not a good effort. But I still enjoy driving here. Like I said, probably the only track where I just come to have fun.
That's cool. Well, I'm very excited for our lap. I was really sprinting it, hoping I could make it, because I can promise you it's going to be very good. That's something a lot of we go. if we have time.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm definitely not gonna say no for one more lap of this craziness. Dude, you use every millimeter of the track.
You know,
it's a very narrow track. I know you need to use every track surface. That's
my previous team manager, who gave me a lot of knowledge, he always used to say, you know, you should use every millimeter because you pay for that. You pay for the whole track.
because yeah,
so
your manager said something about...
my manager always used to say you have to use every millimeter of the track, and it doesn't only work on the Nordschlief, it works everywhere, especially in the cars like this, which have quite a lot of power but very low downforce. So you really need to use all of the power you have, because that's actually what you got. You know, if you have the big rear wing, but at the end of the day it's not a lot of downforce, so you try to brake as late as possible, and you really need to be as early as possible on power.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna lie, this was the most crazy rocket, like every millimeter full send. Full send is an understatement in this lap. This was very, very good. Like, if I have to make a comparison, that was like with Kevin Estre last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe even I wouldn't be afraid to say that this was even a bit more crazy. Because Kevin was holding back. He was asking, are you doing fine? Are you doing fine? Are you doing fine? No, that man, he knows we're doing fine. We're just gonna go for it.
I shouldn't ask you. I think you are doing fine.
Yeah.
You know your way around better than me, so.
Well, I know the way around maybe, but if I would be half the driver you are, I would be very happy with myself. Well, you can see like the windows steamed up a bit.
Yeah,
it's
it got a bit hot.
It got a bit hot in here, holding the GoPro while going through all these G-forces. It was good. Thank you very much for this experience, and I think on behalf of whole audience of mine from Poland, I can say thank you for you and Mr. Kubica as well for representing your country so well in motorsports. It's awesome. So what are your plans? Are you like gonna be racing again, or are you just like chilling?
I don't know. I really enjoyed this track, so I was really thinking to do the old VLN new NLS. Yes, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time this year, so maybe next year, depending on how the COVID thing will end up and if there's gonna be a lot of racing or not. Maybe I would like to do some, but it really depends on how much time I have.
Yeah.
I really enjoy coming here for track days because obviously, I mean, the tourist drives are nice, but you always have to be careful and
of course. No, I want to say like a separate point to you, like you're a very fast driver, but it takes also a special mindset to be fast and most importantly safe and tourist drives.
Yes.
And that's what you have. You're like not taking unnecessary risks. You're just, yeah, you're enjoying yourself, but you're respecting others.
I'm not, you know, we are not here to set the fastest lap time, and we are here to have fun. So you have to understand that, you know, there are people who drive very fast, but there are also people who are the first time in here. So,
yeah.
so you should always take extra caution. And that's what I'm trying to do, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about 1/10 here or there, yeah? So,
no, absolutely.
So I think it's the most important thing is to have fun and to also, you know, pay respect to other drivers who might not know the track, who might, you know, not know the car. So I don't think it makes sense to really, you know, over push and go crazy on tourist drives. That's why you have the track days, yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that was
warm.
That was very warm. And
yeah, I think we forgot to turn on the AC.
Yeah, well, at least you have it. Some people take it even out, but yeah, that was hot.
I don't modify my car, so the car is really stock. I didn't change anything.
Yeah, so that was an important point I forgot to ask. So it's stock?
It's completely stock except for the brake pads.
Okay.
Because the normal brake pads, they eat the disc too much and they overheat the disc. So here I have the Mante Paget brake pads in it. But stock brakes, stock suspension, I have the setup done by my former Porsche Super Cup team. So they do the setup. But the car is completely stock on warranty. So I didn't want to take any risk really.
Yeah. So your suspension, everything is fully.
It's fully standard, and everything is unmodified except for the brake pads. But you have to do it. Either you have ceramics or steel brakes. I have steel brakes. You have to have the
different pads.
You have to have different pads, otherwise the disc will overheat, and you know it better than me.
How is so? Which tires we're running? Cup 2s or?
So we are running now the Cup 2 Rs, and actually these are the tires which I bought, and I did the 649 lap time. These are the same tires because I started in the morning today, and I said, okay, it's going to be a good day, not so much traffic.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's put the Rs. Maybe there will be some, you know, we'll have some extra fun. But at the end of the day, the traffic was big. But I stick with the Rs. I think that they are now like 30 laps. So
30 laps old. Some people say after 15 you're already done with Rs.
So the Rs you have to be very careful, especially on warming up. So if you go too hard on the new set, I normally on the Rs I only use 2 sets, I think now. So the first set I went quite fast, and the tire just, let's say, it burned on lap 1, and it was finished. So on the second set I took it very easy. I drove 2 slower laps and then correct the pressures, and now the tires are, I think, maybe 25, 27 laps, and they are okay, but obviously they are not on the pace. Yeah. So I think the Rs are very fast for the first 10 laps, then they are faster than the 2. But afterwards they are the same pace and they start to degrade, and the 2 is good for 40 laps, let's say. Yeah. When I did the 649, I did it on the R, and then I put a new set of ends, and I did 655. So that was very similar, I would say. 6 seconds is not a big difference in normal driving, but obviously the R has this extra
grip.
Yeah, exactly. The extra grip for 2 laps, let's say.
Some people say that the R is actually very beneficial for like the average driver, like because it makes them feel more confident and gives them that extra edge. I
think it's also a lot. I'm not a specialist, so I'm not an engineer, but
it's interesting to hear you as a as a good driver, to hear your opinion about the tire. I think a lot of people appreciate that.
The R is much easier on the curbs because it's softer sidewall. So it's the big advantage on the R, from what I see, is really not the fast corners. It's only braking and accelerating due to soft sidewall. So the sidewall makes the car planted. It allows you to accelerate well, and it allows you to brake well. On fast corners, I'm not really sure if the R is so much quicker, maybe a few kilometers, maybe 1-2%, but that's not a big difference. And it helps probably people to get to know the track also if they drive with the R, because it's easier on the curbs. Sidewall is softer, so even if you run the curbs like we did now, it really helps you, and you know, even if you make a mistake, then the R will, let's say, we cleaned up. And with the N, if you drive the curb wrong, you will just slide, especially with the stock suspension. So I had the chance, thanks to Sebastian Vittel, and he borrowed me his GT3 RS with the Mante kit, the KW suspension, and the big advantage was that the car is just so much easier. It's more forgiving than the standard suspension. If it's faster, the aero package helps a lot, but I'm sure that the suspension with the KW, it's just easier to drive. That was my feeling. So I think the package is nice, but I decided to stick with the normal suspension.
I think it's already, as you can see, you don't need like special suspension to go fast in this case. That was good. I just want to have a look at your tires, like, but overall, it's cool.
The R looks, you will see it looks Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Even after one lap.
So, I mean, it still has profile.
Yes, and it only gets eaten up in the inside here. It's always eaten up, even after 2 laps. And the same thing happens in front. But if you run the correct pressure, you correct it down. Michelin recommends 2.3 in the front, 2.5 in the back. I use 2.2 and 2.4, so a bit different pressure.
Yep. No, it's good for 30 laps.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dude, thanks again one more time. This was amazing.